14 ways Jesus' teachings challenge both believers and non-believers alike. Image credit FootageFoundHere edited by Lightstock.com. Jesus' teachings have a remarkable way of challenging people, whether they consider themselves religious or not. There's something about the perspectives he shared that can really make one stop and think beyond just rules or beliefs. Welcome to my channel, God's Care Jesus. Let's start this video with likes. Many find Jesus' lessons to be thought-provoking, even if they don't always agree with them. His ideas seem to get to the heart of what it means to be a good, ethical person in a way that goes beyond any particular doctrine. The more one reflects on them, the more they realize how much Jesus' teachings can challenge both believers and non-believers alike. This article explores 14 ways his lessons can push people to grow, no matter their starting point. Love for enemies. Jesus' command to love your enemies stands as one of his boldest lessons. It pushes back against our urge to get even or hold on to anger, asking us to show kindness to those who harm us instead. This principle isn't easy for anyone, regardless of beliefs, because it goes against natural human impulses. Yet, it opens up a new way to deal with fights, showing us how powerful it can be to understand and forgive others. To love our enemies doesn't mean we're okay with bad behavior or tolerating it, but that we choose not to let hate take over. This teaching promotes a view centered on peace that leads to better relationships and a nicer society. Inclusivity. People knew Jesus for reaching out to everyone on the edges of society: tax collectors, sinners, and social outcasts. His welcoming nature challenged both religious and social rules, reminding us that no one is beyond deserving of kindness. This message stays relevant because it speaks out against judging others based on their place in life, background, or past mistakes. It shows that true community welcomes all, and it asks both those who believe and those who don't to look past labels and see the worth in each person's unique life story. Jesus' inclusivity encourages a more open and accepting world, one where differences are embraced rather than feared. Subscribe me for more videos. Thanks for keep watching. Challenge to hypocrisy. Jesus frequently criticized hypocrisy, especially in religious leaders who didn't practice what they preached. His emphasis on sincerity over outward appearances resonates with anyone who values honesty. This teaching challenges people to look at their own lives honestly and avoid double standards. Whether religious or not, the call to avoid hypocrisy encourages individuals to live in alignment with their values and beliefs, reminding everyone that actions often speak louder than words. Jesus' rebuke of hypocrisy is a call for integrity in all areas of life. Value of humility. In a world that often rewards ego and the pursuit of power, Jesus emphasized the importance of humility, being teachable, and a willingness to serve others. This lesson invites us to let go of our need for status and control, and instead cultivate openness, compassion, and a servant leadership mindset. Embracing humility can be tough, as it requires us to let go of our own sense of superiority or expertise. It calls us to approach life with a beginner's mindset, open to learning and growth, instead of clinging to what we think we already know. By valuing humility, Jesus encourages people to step back from ego-driven motives and embrace a more grounded, genuine approach to life. His focus on humility speaks to the quiet strength of character that can inspire trust and respect. Forgiveness without limits. Forgive 70 times 7 was Jesus' way of stressing that forgiveness should have no limits. This teaching is challenging because it requires letting go of grudges and embracing empathy. Even when it's difficult, forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, but it does mean choosing peace over resentment. Jesus' call to unlimited forgiveness is especially relevant today, where holding on to past hurts often leads to bitterness. His approach to forgiveness is a reminder that healing can only truly begin when we let go of the weight of anger, offering everyone a path toward inner peace. Radical generosity. Jesus taught us about being generous with our resources. confronting our tendencies towards greed, selfishness, and hoarding. This challenge encourages us to cultivate a spirit of abundance, compassion, and concern for others rather than just focusing on our own wants and needs. In a society often centered on getting more, Jesus' call to give without expecting anything in return reminds us of the happiness that comes from helping those in need. This isn't a matter of being rich. It's about being kind and how giving affects both the person who gives and the one who receives. Jesus' extreme generosity encourages everyone to think about the strength of giving back. Focus on justice. Jesus' teachings are full of calls for justice, especially for the marginalized and oppressed. He encourages followers to seek fairness, to treat others with respect, and to defend those who are mistreated. This message resonates today, challenging people to stand up for justice and equity in their communities. His emphasis on justice isn't just about legal fairness, but moral responsibility as well. Jesus' focus on justice inspires everyone to create a world where fairness is valued, where all people are given a voice, and where kindness prevails over cruelty. Call to action. Jesus never advocated for passive belief, but encouraged his followers to act on their convictions. This emphasis on action over mere words is relevant to anyone who believes in standing up for what's right. He showed that true belief requires a willingness to step out and help others, even when it's uncomfortable. His teachings inspire individuals to live out their values practically in order to make positive changes in their lives and the world. This call to action reminds everyone that impactful change starts with meaningful steps, however big or small. Caring for the marginalized, Jesus spent time with those considered outcasts and demonstrated that everyone deserves compassion. His teaching to care for the marginalized challenges people to look beyond social divides and prioritize the well-being of the vulnerable. This is relevant to both believers and non-believers, pushing for a more inclusive society where everyone is valued. By following Jesus' example of uplifting the marginalized, individuals are encouraged to create a world that prioritizes compassion over judgment and embraces empathy as a universal value. Living authentically, Jesus emphasized the importance of being genuine, warning against a life that prioritizes appearances over truth. His call for authenticity challenges people to live true to their beliefs and values. In a culture that often encourages conformity, Jesus' teaching offers an alternative, a life where integrity matters more than image. Living authentically helps foster trust, build stronger relationships, and create a meaningful sense of self. Jesus' focus on authenticity resonates with anyone who values personal honesty and has the courage to be real. Questioning materialism. Jesus often warned about the dangers of wealth, saying that focusing too much on material things can lead to an empty life. This challenges the popular idea that success equals money and possessions, instead pointing to a life where real value comes from relationships and purpose, not just stuff. His message resonates with everyone, believer or not, as a reminder that happiness isn't guaranteed by having more things. By speaking against materialism, Jesus encourages people to focus on what truly matters and to find joy in things that money can't buy. The power of faith. Jesus often highlighted the strength that comes from faith, portraying it as a guiding light through adversity. Faith, in this context, is about trust, resilience, and hope, which can inspire anyone facing difficulties. This teaching goes beyond religion, offering anyone the encouragement to find strength in belief and hope. Jesus' focus on the power of faith is a reminder of the resilience that grows from trusting in something bigger, which helps people endure life's challenges with greater resolve. Questioning religious exclusivity. Many religious traditions have struggled with issues of exclusivity, drawing from lines between us and them. But Jesus' teachings challenge this mindset, urging us to embrace a more expansive, welcoming approach. This teaching invites us to let go of our need for certainty, to be open to diverse perspectives, and to cultivate a spirit of humility and curiosity. when it comes to questions of faith and belief.